Archbishop, for the last 6 weeks, you've been sending us text messages in which you've encouraged and challenged us to go forth. As our Archbishop, what do you want to see happening among local Catholics as far as missionary discipleship? What do you want to see happening in our parishes and schools? What do you want to see individuals and families doing to be more outward focused?
Well, Megan, I think at the end, this really calls for a conversion of heart, which is deeper than the conversion of the mind, right? A conversion of heart to realize that rooted in our baptism, the very nature of being a disciple is to be a missionary. That's not really a new concept. You know, it's rooted, it's always been that way. It's just that the way we in our own generation have, and the generation that came before us, have defined what does it mean to be a good disciple or a good Catholic or a practicing Catholic, became very small.
Yeah.
Right? In English, you would say you pray, pay, and obey. Right? So you had to pray, you go to church, and you support the church.
Yeah.
And kind of inherent in doing, in even saying that, is that somehow I wasn't a part of the church. I'm supporting the church as if I wasn't a part of it.
Right.
And once I went to church, I went to Mass on Sunday, and I supported the church, then I am a practicing Catholic. I've checked off those two major things, right? But that's not really what the Gospels tell us, though. The Gospels tell us that to be a disciple is to go forth, right? To share what you have received as a gift. But we have gotten into this paradigm that now requires really a conversion of heart. Right? It requires a change of culture, of how we see things and how we do what we do. So that's my hope for our local Catholics and for our parishes and schools and individuals and families, all of us, that we really come to understand deeply that we are a church on the way. We are a church on mission. It's really always been that way. That's why we're even here. It's always been that way. But today we've kind of gotten into a different paradigm, a little bit of a rut, I would say.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we need to face outward, and our communities, our parish communities, need to continue to do their stuff, because, you know, every parish has their stuff. But part of the stuff they have to do is, how do they reach out with the gift of the gospel and the power of the gospel to the world around them? How do they do that?
Yeah.
And part of the conversion of heart is actually then the effort and the energy that I have to do to figure it out.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be given to me like on a plate, and then I just take step 1, step 2, step 3.
Right.
Part of it is actually figuring it out, right? Finding the answer. And finding the answer, then you also form the heart and change a heart. And it's an exciting time for the church, because it is a time of renewal. It is a time of going back to our roots of who we've always been, and the emphasis now is not only on this vertical relationship between me and the Lord, which sometimes that's where it's at. You know, I go to church and it's me and Jesus and me, and that's fine, right? Because the Lord wants to have a personal relationship with each one of us, but he also wants us to be in communion with the rest of the world.
Right. Can't stay there.
You can't stay there. You know, it has to be both, not one and the other. It's kind of both at the same time. Both at the same time.
Yeah.
And so the gathering of even going to the Eucharist is in and of itself ascending forth. It's actually the last words of the Mass. The last words of the Mass is not stick around.
Right. Go forth.
It's go. You know, be on your way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's one of our big MOs whenever we're around teaching about missionary discipleship is just, if you want to do this, it involves getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And that's hard for us as human beings.
Right.
That is a difficult thing to get out of our
But
comfort
it's an
zone.
exciting thing,
But it's
too.
worth it,
And a life,
exactly.
like anything else in life,
Yeah.
if it's going to be worthwhile and push us to growth,
Yeah.
it is going to get us out a little bit of our comfort zone.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so
That's
much.
why we got out of the womb.
Yeah. That's right. New life.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Archbishop.
Great. Thank you.